highlights the virtues of Bitcoin as much as it exposes the fragility of the crypto ecosystem. Bitcoin's a commodity you can self-custody without an issuer. The vast majority of all the crypto tokens out there are unregistered securities trading on unregulated exchanges, and they're fairly centralized. And so what could go wrong? Well, we saw what could go wrong if a centralized token trading on an unregistered exchange blows up this week. I think that the Bitcoiners have been predicting this for a long time. Speaking for all the Bitcoiners, we feel like we're trapped in a dysfunctional relationship with crypto, and we want out.
So how do you get out? Does this enable it when you see a shakeout like this across the broader space?
Look, I think the industry needs to grow up, and the regulators are coming into this space. And what the world wants is it wants digital assets and digital commodities and digital securities, but there's no way to register a digital security. There's no clear guideline or roadmap for designating a digital commodity. The world wants $1 trillion of digital currency in the form of the USD stablecoin. And so I think that the regulatory intervention of late has been all negative, like enforcement, but the marketplace is waiting for the regulators to say, this is how you register a digital currency. This is how you register a digital security or a digital commodity. And instead of saying all the crypto exchanges should register, we need to get the crypto exchanges registered because the future of the industry is registered digital assets trading on regulated exchanges where everyone has the investor protections they need, and the investors in general understand the difference between Bitcoin and a stable coin and a security token.
Does this propel regulators to do that, to move more quickly and to actually implement some of these regulations? And if so, does it also increase the risk that those regulations maybe are too aggressive or don't necessarily get at the heart of this discussion right now?
Well, I think it's definitely going to strengthen the hand of the regulators. It's going to accelerate their intervention, and there's a regressive regulation, which is to say, you can't really do anything, and that'll contract the industry. Bitcoin will be the winner because Bitcoin is a digital commodity and it's the least controversial of everything. But there's a progressive regulation which says this is a path to register a digital security, a digital currency, a digital token, and your digital exchange. If there is a progressive regulation, then I think you won't see 20,000 tokens, you'll see a handful, dozens, but they'll be properly registered tokens. The industry is going to grow much more rapidly. And ultimately, we're moving from the entrepreneurial stage where this was a Wild West offshore, where anything goes, to an institutional digital asset stage where the big players like Bank of America and Fidelity and BlackRock and the Goldman Sachs and JP Morgans are going to enter this space. And we're all just going to grow up and the world is going to benefit from that.
Michael, it's David. I don't know if you knew Sam Bankman-Fried or not, or dealt with.
Look, I've said over and over again, there is no second best crypto asset. The Bitcoin strategy and the Bitcoin idea is you can self-custody an asset without an issuer. And it was born out of Satoshi's observation that you can't trust a currency that can be manipulated by a central party, and you can't trust a bank. And eventually the bank will freeze your assets and the currency will be inflated and eventually it'll crash. That's been happening for thousands of years. The crypto industry just reinvented fiat currency. FTT is just another currency with a centralized exchange, with undue leverage, with opacity. And it's a sad, sad situation. But it's a reminder of why Satoshi gave us Bitcoin in the first place. I think it's pretty clear the only investable asset for a responsible investor is Bitcoin. And the use case is I'm holding it as a store of value for a long period of time, knowing there's going to be volatility. And, I personally, I'm not going to come on your show and recommend a registered security because registered securities like Google and Netflix have risk. Unregistered securities trading in unregulated exchanges on massive leverage offshore, right? What could go wrong?
Well, Michael,
Trust the CEO, you can't trust a company, you can't trust a custodian, you can't trust the bank. And you shouldn't have to. You should be able to hold your own keys, run your own node, and the network ought to work with no discretion for the next 1,000 years. Satoshi articulated this very clearly in the white paper. I think that it's a strong tenet of the Bitcoin community. It's a sad circumstance that a lot of people have to lose a lot of money to be reminded of these basic principles. But I think this is a teachable moment for the entire crypto industry and the mainstream industry. And it teaches you that if you're going to have a crypto asset, it needs to be nobody else's liability. You need to have full transparency to it. And that's what Bitcoin is. And that's what FTT was not.